Welcome to Ayu Grace Journey, code cracking news where we crack codes on all limiting patterns, conditions, beliefs, keeping you from living as your best and highest version. It's my first video. I'm grateful for you guys all joining me today. So basically, what my videos will be about is everything having to do with rising up into fifth dimension of consciousness by allowing limiting patterns, things we used to do, beliefs, imprints, codes, anything that's keeping us from rising higher in our consciousness. We're going to point to those things. We're going to use some tools to reprogram and rewrite the script of who we really are, our true, authentic self, so we can shine that out. Because if we're not true, okay, uh, it's not only a disadvantage for us, it's a disadvantage for others. So today, the first thing I want to talk about on this first video is the violet flame. And if you know me from my private messages, you know I talk about the violet flame a lot. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we deep dive into what the violet flame is, how it works, what it's used for, and how to use it, let's tune into our hearts. Let's just bring your awareness into your hearts and let's just take 3 nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Just breathe with me. So, what is the violet flame? The violet flame is known in spiritual circles as the highest spiritual energy on the planet. And if you think in terms of energy, which everything is energy, violet flame is basically the holy energy of the planet. It is the most healing energy. Um, each each color is a different frequency, just like each sound is a different frequency. Our auras are a different frequency, right? So the violet flame is its own frequency, but it is the highest spiritual frequency on the planet. And we can work with it to transmute dark matter into light matter. And I've worked with the violet flame for many years now, and it has completely transformed my life. I'm just really grateful to be able to offer it, this wisdom to you today about it. The violet flame, like I said, is a spiritual energy. Um, the color violet alone is an energy, and the violet flame is basically just a spiritual tool spiritual alchemists use to transmute dark matter into light. So each color represents a color in a rainbow, right? So each color represents a color in a rainbow. Violet represents the top color, expanding all the way into infinity. So when you look at a rainbow, the violet is the top color of that rainbow, and it expands all the way out into infinity. Each color also represents one of our chakras, right? So the violet color correlates with our crown chakra. And our crown chakra has everything to do with our connection to the spiritual world, with our connection to our higher self, our connection to the divine. And that's what the violet flame is. It helps us, when we use it, it helps us to connect more to our spiritual nature. Um, and it's miraculous. It literally is miraculous. Uh, it also correlates, every color correlates to a different archangel. And the violet flame correlates to Archangel Zadkiel and his counterpart, Holy Amethyst. So, the amethyst stone, which I have one now, I keep one on me all the time. It helps us connect to our spiritual nature. It helps us to get um, spiritual wisdom. Really, we're not really getting anything, it's already in us. But the violet flame, what it does is it helps us open that connection to the unknown, where we can tune into more of our intuition, more of our messages from our spirit guides. And it gives us a sense of inner power over things we once perceived as limitations. um, it reprograms the thoughts. Okay, using a violet flame reprograms limiting thoughts back into positive thoughts. It reprograms negative feelings or uncomfortable feelings back into bliss. It's healing. It heals us at every chakra. We can use the violet flame to heal or open up our spiritual channels, our energetic channels, which any channel in our body or in our energetic body, it correlates to an area of life. So if our heart chakra is blocked, um, this will it'll create problems in our relationships, in our ability to trust, our ability to have empathy, compassion. And that's another thing the violet flame does. It helps us to become more loving and compassionate with ourselves and others. And I really think it's an important thing, important tool right now with everything in the world. It is known as a spiritual tool that could help the world, help heal the planet, heal Mother Gaia, heal humanity, help us to come back into a state of wholeness and oneness with one another, because we know there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of hatred, and the violet flame helps with that as well. It gives us answers. So, um, how does it work? The way that the violet flame works is that um, we can use a frequency, and there are many, many different types of violet flame frequencies on YouTube. All you have to do is just search violet flame frequency and you'll find one. And if you just listen to it, um, it's suggested to listen to the frequency at least 30 minutes, I mean, at least 30 days, uh, like for a full month, once a day, every day, and you will see miraculous changes in your life. Your relationships will come more from a space, a sacred space of harmony. Um, you'll be able to problem solve a lot better from a place of peace and love. It also helps us to forgive. It is called the violet flame freedom, the violet flame of freedom, forgiveness, and transmutation. And that's exactly what it does. It frees us from anything that's holding us back from being our highest version. It transmutes any dark matter that's going on in our lives, going on in our emotional body, mental bodies, back into glorious, radiant light and unconditional love. And it's merciful, meaning it helps us to forgive. And forgiveness is essential. Forgiveness is an essential part of manifesting. Like if our hearts are closed, we're unable to give and receive. So the violet flame helps us with that. So we can use it through frequency. We can also use it as sacred decrees, decreeing the violet flame. One of the most easiest decrees is, I am a being of violet fire. I am the purity God desires. And it purifies our energetic body. It purifies our realities through us. Okay? It purifies our situations and environments through us, where we become the beacon of light that shines a radiance on to what's limiting, what comes from separation, what comes from fear. Because the journey into fifth dimensional consciousness is to allow all of the fears, the insecurities, anything that makes us feel or has programmed us to believe that we are unlovable, um, it causes us to show up pretty harmful to ourselves and others. And the violet flame helps us to come into atonement with ourselves. It helps us to forgive ourselves and others. And in that sacred space of forgiveness, um, opens up so many doors. Um, so, one way to work with it, like I said, is through listening to frequencies, decreeing like affirmations, decreeing, I am a being of violet fire. You can also find affirmations on YouTube. Um, Elizabeth Clare Prophet is known for bringing the sacred wisdom of the violet flame. So if you search Elizabeth Clare Prophet, which is in the description box below, um, and the violet flame decrees, you'll be able to understand a lot more about what the violet flame is, and you'll be able to start decreeing. And so I'd like to talk about how it's transformed my life in using the violet flame. Some of the really beautiful ways um, I've experienced it work is that if there is discord in my reality, like if there is discord in my environment, and I decree the violet flame, what it does, or I listen to a frequency, and I listen to it every day, still to this day, um, it what it does is it helps. It offers us wisdom from within ourselves. It opens up channels of wisdom within ourselves, where we are able to come from a place of power and empowerment to overcome discord, to bring chaos and situations back into harmony. Uh, it programs limiting beliefs. So if you show up, or if we're showing up in poverty consciousness, in a poverty mindset, it reprograms our beliefs back into a prosperity mindset, which is essential in order to align to everything that's meant for us. Um, an open heart, it opens our hearts so that we can give and receive love. We can give and receive the blessings of the universe. So, um, when I started decreeing a violet flame, the first thing that I noticed is that um, I started feeling, literally feeling in my body, my vibrations rising. It was almost like a buzzing sensation throughout my entire physical body. And after that, my communications began to change. I was able to communicate more from a place of vulnerability, compassion, empathy. I was able to understand people from my heart. Um, Basically, I was able to open up a channel of being able to feel another person's energy, and not just making it about myself. It offered me emotional intelligence. Uh, and it's also healing. There were times I called upon the violet flame in really dire times, where there was an accident. Like one time, my grandson, by accident, um, his fingers got slammed into a door, and I'm telling you, I would believe that they were broken. He screamed and screamed, and I called on the violet flame. By the time we walked from the car to my apartment, he was laughing. He was smiling. We looked at his hand. It was fine. He was moving. He went on and played. I have tons of stories like that about the violet flame. I decree violet flame for people who are sick, and it helps. So just try it out. Try it out for the next 30 days. Uh, See if it works for you. Um, let's pull a card or two and find out, you know, uh, what the violet flame is all about uniquely for you. How can it help you? I love this. So we have the Knight of Wands. And so this is very true. The violet flame, the Knight of Wands is all about being energetic. The violet flame improves our energy. It gives us inspiration. That's what this Knight of Wands is all about. Inspiration, new ideas, new solutions. It helps us get creative. So try it out for the next 30 days and drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think about the violet flame. Do a little bit more research on it if you're curious. And I hope what I shared here benefits you in coming back home into the sacred heart where we are one and we're loved. Thank you for joining me today.
Loved, even if it's hard to see. That God will always be there, even if it seems like He doesn't care.